Monbasa, Vita. Red card from Canopy to the roots, or we perish. In brackets, Vita Majong, battle galore. I'm going to start with the Bible. The king who had been given powers over the whole world, the whole earth that time. By then they didn't know about, there was no Roman Empire. So the whole world should have meant part of North Africa, part of Greece, part of the Middle East, and into Persia. That was the whole world that time. The king who had powers over everything that time was a proud king. He had powers no man had except God. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about a big tree, a tree that grew up to the skies. This tree gave shelter to the birds of the air. The wild animals found space under it. And God sent an angel and ordered for the tree to be cut down and the branches to be trimmed. And it was done. And he ordered for a chain to be put around the stump of the tree. This is not a scare about the end of the world. I know that's where most of you have put their focus. And I wanted it to be that way. Now I have your attention. From time immemorial, we've had things. The Roman Empire had its good side and its bad side. It civilized the world. But there were also dark occasions. We had somebody like Caesar Commodore, a gladiator. Wow, a warrior. A warrior in the arena. The people would come to the amphitheater, and in the arena, that was where the show was. Man to man, weapon to weapon, man to animal. They fought. And some occultic practices were used. Moving on, we had the famous Nero and his lunacy exploits. We had Caligula. But this is concentrating on the Roman Empire. So, let me invite you to the arena. Take your gladius, because that is where the name gladiator came from. The one who used a gladius. A gladius is a kind of sword. The gladiator, a person who fought for fame. He had a shield, but he will bear out his chest to show that he was not afraid. They were the men of fame. But before we lose our minds on that one, let's come to reality. Yesterday was a sad day for the Kenyans. A moment of silence. Our girls who burnt in the school dormitory fire were being prayed for. The parents had a session. And it was an interesting session. I'm starting with us because what happened is, according to what some other people are giving me interpretations, Kenya is supposed to mean God's nest in the Jewish language, I think. That's what they told me, I don't know. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And so, from the very nest of God, where the foot of Jesus is, this is a hawker teacher. I explained what a hawker teacher is, or just a teacher. Asking us to get to the arena. Because yesterday, people made statements, and they were emotional statements. I also got emotional. Here, the parents of the former school in Russia talked of negligence. And those who came talked of introducing new rules about the dormitories having open spaces. And there was talk about those who caused the problem and the law that's taking its place, whatever is happening. And there was the blame because some parents or some other people, not only parents, felt that some people are not in the required place, the prison. Some blamed the head teacher because sometimes when head teachers are getting into trouble, people start up things. Others wanted the teachers concerned to be in, others wanted the watchmen. It was their view. But let's get into the arena. Let's get our gladius. Yes. Let's get our trident. Let's get the net. Let's get our clubs. Let's get our spears. It is a time for the games. Games was war in the arena. Let's get to the let's get to the games like the gladiators that were. Let's be open. I have been a teacher for a long time in a government school. People are talking of introducing new rules about the dormitories. Is it the first time that new rules about dormitories have been introduced? They've been there over 10 years after there was another fire where the boys perished. And there had been another fire where girls burnt at the coast. And it was stipulated. The rules are there. There has to be a fire point. It is there. So what's going to be introduced about that? The windows and the doors are supposed to be of a certain design. And they have to open from the outside. It is there. You don't have to have barricades on the windows. It is there. The spacing of the beds. It is there. How the dormitories are to be taken care of. It is there. The heads of all boarding institutions living within the school compound. It is there. So those rules are there. We're not stipulating any new rules. We would be lying. But this is not the problem. We blamed the education office. We blamed the school administration. We blamed the security. We blamed the girls who banned. What else have we left out? We didn't blame the law because the law is taking its place. Did we leave out something? We are in the arena. And yes, we did. We did not blame ourselves. We did not blame ourselves. I know it's a trying moment. It's a time that people are mourning. But this is the time that truth has to be told. Are we taking care of our responsibilities? Are we being genuine in our responsibilities? Are we? Because there is something that is there, the way I just started. Occultism has been rife in the world community. Let me not only talk about Kenya. It has been there. What steps are people taking to deal with that? Because if you don't deal with this occultism, the sacrificing of human beings, you can put all the laws you want. All one has to do is to make a mistake and make sure that those windows that can open from outside will not open. And things will happen. Let's take charge of our children. Let's keep our children right. 2, as much as we hate being blamed in such a situation, let the teachers, we have code of regulation, they are very good. Let it be followed. But also, introduce something. How to handle and tackle occultism, because this is something we have shied away from. We are all Christians. We are all Muslims. We are all Hindus. Those things don't happen in our sphere. No, we are good. That is the lie. Some of us are in those things. And it's high time. The system, starting from the government, God forbid, let's not pretend. This thing starts from the high up places. We use these things, these occultic things, to put ourselves in power. We use them to do trade. We use them to maintain certain things. And along that comes with corruption. They are school inspectors. These things are supposed not to be the way they are. When the buildings are being built, are they inspected? Because the set down rules are there. And if they are inspected, how do they end up with a place up there without proper escape places and some places locked? Because the building is supposed to be inspected as it's going on. It's supposed to know all the safety measures are there. The laws are there. How are these things breached? Just the school system, like any other system. Call them all these systems. There is the corruption. And you get a cut, and somebody else gets a cut, and everybody looks the other side, until when a tragedy strikes. That's now when we start talking, let's implement other new rules. Minister concerned, the rules are there. I've been a teacher. I know. They are there. They are there. The only things that we deny is these things of spiritualism, these things of witchcraft. Just teach them about Jesus, teach them about Muhammad, and everything will be okay. No, it won't be until we approach this subject. Let's face the reality. Let's be like gladiators. A gladiator would not imagine that he would enter the arena and then the enemy comes and you close your eyes and you win. You would die. Because in the arena, it was you live out alive or you live out dead, being dragged by your feet. They would hold you, tie your legs, and pull you out of the arena. This is the situation. Our children are in peril. But not only our children, we too. There are sacrifices that are going on outside, abductions and things like that. But this is not the time to touch on those. But they are happening. What control measures are there? There have been cases where we find bodies, people disappearing and ending up in rivers. What control measures are there? And many other things. It's not only in Kenya, it's in other countries too. This is not the first fire. Even after End Russia, there was talk of taking control of this thing. And there have been talks of taking control. But immediately the thing ends, after 2 or 3 months, this thing will be forgotten, buried, and the whole practice of what we are doing will go. Let's ask for internal change. Let's be like gladiators. Wage the war to finish this thing. Give it a red card. Because if we don't, our children will perish in sacrifices. Some of us will call them accidents. Because we are talking of accident. There was a girls' school that girls had scissors and things like that. And eventually, during that time of scissors, people having just scissors, and people say that girls had reached puberty. But there was a fire that was claimed started without anybody starting. It was what do we call this? A paranormal fire, and it killed some girls. It did. So, what we have here, it's a bigger thing that we are looking at. It's not the head teacher, it's not the minister, it's not the parent, it's not the girl. Let's get to the monster. We are not ready to accept that we have those things here. All Kenyans are good Christians, good Muslims. Pray for them. Nothing will happen. Those are imaginations. They are taking their toll. Let's be real. Let's get back to this occultism thing, this sacrifice thing that we are running away from, and corruption. Because corruption lets those things happen. Those designs are ignored because of corruption. Things that are not up to standard are left to stand because of corruption. Because under normal circumstances, that exit door and whatever is there, is it adequate? How did it stand up to be there? So, the ministry, the parents who have failed in our parts, let's ensure that our children are not getting into occults. My parents, you are the ones who give the children a background. Let your child be your friend. Don't see them as a bother when they come home. Take time with them. Take time with them. Ensure in their daily program, even if you not be there, you have a part, you have a knowledge of where your son, your daughter is going. What your daughter, your son, take concern, because these are our future. They are your future. Why are you taking them to expensive schools if you cannot be concerned? Take concern. Take concern. Take concern. Let's fight it out. That is the truth. That is the reality. There have been occultic practices throughout the world. Think of the self-imposed king in some country. It was rumored he was eating children's hearts for breakfast. Occult or not. And it did not start yesterday. Up to those big houses, up to those parliaments, up to the schools, up to the police stations. We have to have a radical change. Go through all this system. This is a game. War in the arena was called a game. We have to play this game to the end, fight it to the end. That flute was not blowing for the end of the world. That flute was a flute to awaken you to your responsibility as a human being. People of the world, people of Kenya, wake up. Let's not take this lightly, lightly the way we always do. Then after another 1 year or 6 months again, we shall start the same game. And it also happened at Utumishi. And now, no, let this be the end of that game. And it's not the talking that will end it. It is activity. And we have to be honest. We put out corruption. If it does not fit their standards, let it not work. Let it not work. If the rules call for the heads of institutions to be in the compound, let them have, even if they have mansions outside, be in the compound. It is a regulation. If they are matrons or whatever, let them be in those places. But above that, let everybody take his responsibility, the parent, the teacher, according to the caliber, and the outside community to bring up the foundation we want. Otherwise, we shall be fighting a losing battle. This is the main battle. This is Vita Majong. This is Vita Madwong. This is battle Calore. That is my take for now.